Workers quickly peel the cleaned apples through the peeling machine, and then transfer them to the other side of the machine to remove the core. From the scattered apple peels, we can see the number of apples that this factory needs to process every day. As one of the 4 major fruits in the world, apples can be processed into different products of different types and qualities. Every year when winter is approaching, it is the season for picking apples. The workers will set up ladders and carefully pick the fully ripe apples from the trees. In order to avoid damage, factories usually do not pick fruit trees by shaking them. Therefore, when faced with apples on some higher branches, workers will use the crank arm lifting platform to pick apples, so that damage can be largely avoided. They can then be dumped into crates and transported back to a nearby processing plant together. Among them, the apples with better appearance and size will be weighed and poured together into a sink filled with disinfectant water. The apples floating on the water surface will remove the drug residues that may exist on the surface during the forward transmission process. After the apples are conveyed to the roller conveyor belt, the rollers below can drive the apples to be conveyed forward, allowing the apples to roll continuously. Can drive to the forward transmission process. After the apples are conveyed to the roller conveyor belt, the rollers below can drive the apples to be conveyed forward, allowing the apples to roll continuously. In this way, when passing through the water brush, the residual mud can be washed away. Workers will carefully sort out the defective products, and the remaining apples will continue to be conveyed under a large fan to dry the surface moisture. Then you can wax. Waxers spray each passing apple with carnauba wax, which is then passed through a large dryer to dry. At this time, the surface of the apple will be smoother than before. Divide into 3 small conveyor belts. There are workers waiting here to check for possible bad fruit, and then redivide into 6 conveyor belts that can only hold 1 apple. In this way, the automatic sorting machine on the other side can label the apples individually according to the color and size of each apple. The larger apples will be packaged in gift boxes, while the smaller apples will be packed in bags. The remaining apples that are not in good condition for packaging will be removed by the factory through machines. After being inspected by workers, it will be cut into pieces directly and squeezed into juice through a juicer. In this way, all the apples are processed.
The Peterson Farms applesauce plant is a state-of-the-art facility established in 2015 and provides single-cup applesauce to customers throughout the United States. Prior to arriving at Peterson Farms, the apples begin by being harvested by Good Agricultural Practices, or GAP, audit-approved growers throughout the United States. Each apple is carefully hand-picked, loaded into 850-pound bins, and then shipped to Peterson Farms. Once the apples arrive on site, they're transferred into control atmosphere, or CA rooms, where they're stored until they're needed for processing. The purpose of the CA room is to slow down the ripening process of the apples. This is done by reducing the room's oxygen and carbon dioxide levels and introducing nitrogen, which then puts the apples to sleep. When removed from CA storage, the apples look and taste much like they did on the tree. After the apples have been removed from CA storage, each bin is reviewed to determine the best processing use of the apples, whether it be fresh cut, applesauce, IQF,
moisture,
or juice, and then transferred to the selected facility.
Then you can wax.
The applesauce
Waxers spray each passing.
The apples are transported